Howdy, gang. I'm Jeff McAleer. If you follow the gaming gang, then you probably already know that I underwent triple bypass surgery 2 weeks ago. Yes, I am on the mend, and thank you very much for all those kind thoughts and prayers that were sent my way. I do want to point out, though, I'm still a bit of a ways away from returning to the duct tape studios with any regularity, mainly because of my voice. My voice is still very hoarse. It's kind of weak. It's a bit raspy. And of course, that is from the breathing tube and other apparatus that was down my throat during the surgery. And it will take a little bit of time to get the strength of my voice back. Anyway, do want to mention that originally I had planned the month of June to be the Gaming Gang Spring Fling, where each and every day I was going to share a brand new review on the Gaming Gang. Obviously enough, that plan fell through when on June 1st, I found myself in the hospital waiting open heart surgery 6 days later. But I did shoot some videos ahead of time that I was planning on releasing on a daily basis. And of course, I do mention the spring fling in these reviews, and of course, that did not come to fruition. But I still want to share these reviews with you. So today, allow me to share my thoughts about Dragonrealm from Gamewright Games. Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off, because today I'll be sharing a bit of a how to play, as well as my review of Dragonrealm from Gamewright. Is this a fun, family-friendly fantasy game that's perfect for your collection? Or if you play this game, will you simply find your spirits be dragon? Well, you're going to find out right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. It is the Gaming Gang Spring Fling, where you'll find all through June a brand new review at thegaminggang.com each and every day. Today, I'm sharing a bit of a how to play, as well as my review of Dragonrealm, a game of goblins and gold from Gamewright. It is designed by Darren Kistjan with artwork provided by Chris Beatrice. The game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 20 to 30 minutes, and carries an MSRP of $24.99. Let's swing on over to the other camera because I've got Dragonrealm set up. Before we dive in, I do want to point out that the fine folks over at Gamewright were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any sort of compensation for me to share my thoughts about this game with you. And these days, it's important that you know that. That said, first off, let's talk about the rules. Crystal clear. Had absolutely no problem whatsoever learning how to play the game through the rules. This is a light game. This is not a very rules heavy game by any stretch of the imagination, but very nicely presented, some examples as well. And there's some options. There's one major option on the back of the rules as well. So essentially this is a fantasy game. So each of the players, they're sending adventurers out to control various different areas. At the end of the day, it's all about gold. It's all about money. Whoever has the most gold at the end of the game is the winner. It does not matter how many locations they've controlled, anything like that. It's all about the gold. So what the players are going to do is they're going to be collecting adventurer cards, which is this deck up here. And there are 5 suits, and there are 5 different colors. So there's a different color for each suit. so you can tell the suits apart by color as well as artwork. These are numbered from 1 to 12. And you're going to start off with a hand of 5 of these cards. And what's going to happen is you're going to try to go to these different locations and beat the numbers that are on the bottom of these locations by rolling dice. Now, these are 6-sided dice, but they are not numbered 1 to 6. They're actually numbered 1 to 4. There's one side numbered 4, one side numbered 1, 2 sides numbered 2, and 2 sides numbered 3. So keep that in mind. So when you see these numbers like a 10, you're not going to be getting any 5s or 6s on these dice. So that was something I had to point out a couple of times as we were playing, even though I had explained there's no 5s or 6s on the dice. So each player is going to start off with a hand of 5 cards. We've got a location deck that's laid out. So we have a variety of different locations. So you're not going to use all of these each game. So there's a bit of variety as far as the locales that you'll have in each of the games. So we have locations numbered 1, 2, and 3 on the back. As you can see, this is a 3 right here. And then we have a dragon locale, which is that green backing right there. And that is the final location. Once that location has been claimed, then the game will end. You'll tally everything up. And once again, whoever's got the most gold is going to be the winner. Players will also receive enhancements, which are kind of like magical items that they get. So you're going to actually receive 3 cards, and you can either keep 2 that are level 1 or 1 that is a level 2. Now, some of these will give you a special bonus. Some are a one and done. You use it and it's gone. Some just simply give you more money at the end of the game. So it's your choice, and you can keep these secrets until you decide to use them. There are some that are reusable. So for an example, the pet chipmunk allows you to re-roll one of your dice every time you go exploring. So you've got that. So you'll have either 1 or 2 of these. We also have the Adventurers Academy. Now on the back, it is Adventurers Alley, which is kind of a wrinkle. It's an optional variant to the game that actually allows you to pick up more of these enhancements during the game. The standard way of playing does not allow you to do that. And I'll explain what happens with this Adventurers Academy as well. So what you're going to start off with, you've got your 5 cards. And I've got a hand of 5 cards here. There are going to be some cards mixed in to this deck as well. We've got goblin cards, which essentially if you draw a goblin card, it's going to tell you left, middle, or right, and you are going to add a goblin to that location. So for an example, this says left, a goblin would go into this location. And what the goblins basically do is they just kind of muck up the works. They just occupy slots on these locations because these locations are going to give you gold if you complete the location and you have the most or the second most adventurers on that card. And I'll tell you how you do that. There is another card, though, which is kind of interesting, and it is the Rock Slide card. So if the Rock Slide card is drawn, all players have to pass 2 of their adventurer cards to the player on their left. So kind of interesting as well. So there's some variety mixed in. It's not just these adventurer cards that are available to you. So on your turn, you can do one of 2 things. You can rest, which will allow you to draw 2 adventurer cards. You have a choice of taking the cards that are here or taking from the deck. If you take them from here, then you're just going to replace that card from the deck. So when you're going to the locations, there's 3 different ways of approaching the exploration. So you can either rest, draw the 2 cards, or you can explore, which means you're going to one of these locations. And if you notice, we have these shields here that are going to show, for an example, this is 4 and 3. This is 10 and 5. That's 7 and 4. When all these spaces are taken up, when they're all filled, whoever has the most adventurers is going to get that many gold coins. If there's a tie, then you divide and round down, and that's how many coins you would get. You might have a tie for first. You might have a tie for second place. Interestingly enough, if one player is the only one with adventurers in a location, they get both. So for an example, if I was the only one who had adventurers here, I would get 7 gold. So that's one of the things that you're looking at. Now underneath, we also see these are dragon stones. So when you complete a location, whoever had the most adventurers there is going to take that card and they're going to keep that card. If there was a tie, nobody gets the location. They get the gold, but they don't get to keep the location. What happens at the end of the game is you're going to add up the dragon stones from the locations that you have, and whoever's got the most is going to get an extra 5 gold at the end of the game. So that can turn out to be a really big bonus. So let's talk about how you go and you explore these locations. So you can sneak. So this is that's the first item right here. So this is sneak. So I have a 10, a 9, and a 5. So I would need to have a die roll or dice roll that totals that number or higher in order to be able to place an adventurer on this location. If you see the circles, that means if you do that exploration and you're successful, you get to put 2 adventurers on that card. So you can sneak. So to sneak, you're going to have to use a straight. So numbers in a row. So as you can see here, I don't really have anything that would be working out for me there. So as an example, like 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each card that you use is going to give you a die that you're able to roll. The more dice, obviously enough, the better off you'll be. Now, of course, you can roll bad dice. It happens. So, to sneak, you need a straight. To be able to search, which is the second one with the spyglass, it's cards of the same number. So, as an example here, I've got the 2 6s. I could conceivably try to search on the Enchanted Forest because I just need a 5 total. Whereas this is a 7 and that's a 7. So I could conceivably do that on my turn if I want to explore. And I can also storm. Now that's the last one. That's with the cross swords. And that is cards of the same suit. So essentially we have straights. We have same numbers. And we have the same suit. So essentially this is giving me kind of the same 2 dice that I could try to apply. So what I would maybe decide to do on my first turn, because this isn't all that great, I'm not liking this so much. I think what I would do is I would actually take this 1 card, let's add it to that, right? So that would give me 3 dice. We're going to replace it with that. Ooh, look at that one. Remember, if I rest, I get 2 cards. So I could take this as well and replace it like so. And that would be my turn. I did not go trying to explore anywhere. That's the end of my turn. Say it comes back around to me. Now I decide, okay, I want to explore. Now there is a hand limit. You can only have 9 cards in your hand. You can never have more than 9 cards. So I'm going to say, let's see, where could I storm that's not going to be too expensive but gives me some good gold? I think I'm going to go try to explore the Dungeon of Despair. So I would get 4 dice. So I need to roll 5 or better on these 4 dice. Look at that. Oh, perfect. I got 14. Wow. No. Okay. So basically right here, I would take one of my adventurers. Boom. There we go. So, or I can lay it down so it looks a little better there on camera. So I would be occupying one of those spaces. Now, let's say, what if I just had some really terrible luck and rolled all ones? Come on, where is it? Like, where's that 1 at? What if I rolled 4 ones? I didn't even come close. I didn't get the 5. What I would end up doing is I would send my adventurer to the Adventurers Academy. And as these build up, I actually can take them when I roll dice. So let's say as an example, I failed a couple of times to try to explore a location. So I would take 2 of my adventurers, 1 each time I failed, and put them into the academy. Now, as an example, let's say I was trying to play these cards now in order to try to explore. I could roll my dice and I can take these and add 1 for each. At the end of the game, if I still had adventurers in the academy, I actually get a dragon stone for each one, up to 3. So they go added to your total of dragon stones, not gold, but dragon stones. If I were to fail when I spend my cards, these cards would go back into my hand. I don't lose them. So that's important to keep in mind, because a lot of people would get really frustrated if they're, stocking up on cards and then they get lousy dice rolls and then they would have to discard all those cards. If you fail, you get to keep the cards. If you succeed, once again, you're going to add the adventurer. You'll also get to draw a card from the adventurer deck and add that to your hand. Once again, maximum of 9 cards. That's essentially how you'll play. You're going to be filling up adventurers. Once you fill up a location, you're just simply going to replace it with the next in line until eventually you will get to a dragon location. These are the green ones here. And remember, as I mentioned, we've got a variety of different locations. We're not using the same exact locations every time we play. So you're going to have a dragon location. For an example, this is the Dragon's Gate. And we'll see that we've got these numbers here that we need to defeat. Some of the locations will have like a special instruction, like here it says no goblins. We had the other that said no academy adventurers, so you couldn't draw these to add to your dice rolls. This has 2 players max on this as well. So some of them will have some like variants to them, some special rules on them, but nothing that's really difficult to figure out at all. So once the dragon location is complete, even if you have other locations that are not complete yet, that's going to trigger the end of the game. Whoever won the dragon locale is going to, of course, add it to their locations if they had the most, not if there was a tie for the most, but if they had the most. And then any unfinished location is going to score as if it were finished. So as an example, if the Cursed Fountain was like that when the dragon location was completed, I win. I get that. I'm the only adventurer there. So there's a bit of planning that has to take place too, because you don't want the other players to run off with a location that they're the only one who has adventurers on it. Even if you're just maybe trying to vie for a tie for second place, if you allow the other players to score locations all by themselves, you are going to find that that is just way too much gold for you to try to catch up with. All in all, that is how you play Dragonrealm. I want to show some of the artwork here. You've already seen the artwork for the various different suits, but we've got really cool artwork for the enhancements, Potion of Invisibility, Lucky Socks, the Wizard's Hat, the Magic Scroll and the Wizard's Wand, Fairy Dust, a bunch of bananas. So, kind of interesting here. You could take 2 2s and turn it into a 5. And this is something you'd be able to use multiple times. Got a treasure map. So as an example, it's +3 to any explorer. This is a one-time use. The dwarf hammer, the fireball spell, elven harp, the golden chalice. And now we have different locations. So we've got Dragon Ruins, Dragon's Lair, Dragon Rock, the Isle of Dragons, the Fire Swamp, the Crystal Mountain, the Ogre's Treehouse, the Snake Pit, the Den of Wolves, the Halfling Hideout. We've got the Troll Tavern, the Bear Basin, and the Slimy Tunnels. I really like the artwork throughout. Like I said, the component quality is top notch throughout. Really nice card quality, nice, thick, chunky card stock for your coins. The dice are really nice. They're cut dice. So, unfortunately, you can't use them in role-playing games because they only go up to 4. We got the little goblin meeples. We have the adventurer meeples. And, of course, we have them in different colors for up to 4 players as well. All right, so that is Dragonrealm. Let's swing on over to the other camera because I'm going to share my final thoughts as well as a review score. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I really like this game. It's super light. It's super easy to get into. Yes, there's tons of luck involved. I'll be the first to point out, if people are not into chucking dice and playing cards and everything's got to be no luck whatsoever, this is probably not going to be up your alley because it can be kind of swingy. Now, one of the things that really does alleviate some of the frustration maybe of having bad luck is that you get your cards back. If you fail, you get your cards back. And each time you fail, you also get to add an adventurer to the Adventurer Academy, and you can take those adventurers from the academy and add 1 for each to your die roll. So kind of mitigates that a little bit, but there is quite a bit of luck involved. That doesn't bother me at all. Some people it bothers me. I like luck. I have nothing wrong. I have no problem with swingy games or luck being involved in games. Component quality is excellent. I love the fact that we've got these mechanisms that you'll find in a vast number of tabletop games at play here. That's why this makes for an excellent gateway game to introduce people into different kind of board games. Take them away from the Monopoly and Game of Life and introduce them to our side of the tracks. All in all, fantastic job by Gamewright on this. I got to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, I know, get ready for it. And I know people are going to be like, what? I give Dragonrealm a 10 out of 10. Before people freak out, I look at what is it, what did this game set out to do? What do I have the impression the designer was looking to do with this game? And I think it pulled it off fantastic. I really think for the intended audience, this is a fantastic game. This is the sort of game that you can get smaller kids to play. I know it says 10 and up. I think you could probably go a little lower. You could probably go about 8 and up. But this is also a game that adults aren't going to sit around like, oh, God, this is a kid's game. Oh, and this is, oh, I can't handle this. No, adults will enjoy it just as well. You don't have to have children to enjoy Dragonrealm. All right. That is it for this time out. Do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this review, it'll also tell you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news, as well as first looks at tabletop games. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch. And until I see you next time, good gaming. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.